hope you can see me okay. Of course, you have to be safe, right? Safety comes before beauty. This video, I actually is to all you guys that have watched my videos, and I hope that there was still some inspiration in all the videos. We can only do the best that we can in the moment that we're in, and when I realized what kind of energy we were in, sometimes we turn ourselves off, not intentionally. Sometimes we forget how far we've come. Sometimes we go into old patterns. Sometimes we fall into old patterns and we don't even know we're in the old patterns, but we know something's not right. So part of me would like to apologize if I was a dipsy downer. And another part of me would like to thank you for your constant support in such a wonky, great, liberating, challenging year. Happy New Year. Today is New Year's Day. And I just was reminded of the importance of what you've been through and what you've gone through, and to honor that. And sometimes we lose ourselves because of miracles. You know, I've been on this path since 2006. Really kind of 2007. 2006, we actually started taking holidays. We moved back to Regina, again, to heal and face some of the issues that I had. Now, we all have them. And sometimes we forget, and we're not actually listening to spirit because we're stuck somewhere. And sometimes the cloud is there for a reason. Sometimes the dust is there for a reason. And when I say that sometimes we get lost in a miracle, it's sometimes when you fight something for so long, and then all of a sudden you're there. You don't know what to do next, you know? And then you get stuck because the miracle is other people understanding you. The miracle is other people actually that you love, that you care for, actually begin to hear you, because you release the idea, or you release the energy of having to have other people's approval. Well, when you release the idea and the energy of having other people's approval, sometimes you get that approval, and then all of a sudden it messes with your mind, because you're scared to lose that approval once you get that approval. And I say you have to make tough decisions, but they're not really tough if you're listening to your guidance. The only thing that makes them tough is when you're held back by guilt, obligation, fear of what someone may, fear of how someone may perceive your decisions. And thank God, thank Spirit, thank goodness, Spirit doesn't give up on us. Even when we get lost and we're in a cloud of confusion. I watched a friend's, before I get to that, these last few days for me have been extremely magical, very miraculous. I've decided I'm just going to, again, do the best that I can for my body. And that means just do the best I can in those moments. And try not to judge myself so damn hard if I don't get certain things done. And I have to trust that being in the moment will help heal the moment. And to try and be in the moment. And if there's issues, absolutely, I have to take my own advice, and I have to write them down, and I have to burn them. And you have to get rid of the ashes. And if you do all these things in a ceremonial kind of way, it really works. It's very powerful. It's very strong. It's very freeing. And you know, it's not just the spiritual, religious, or whatever you want to call it. You know, I've learned this kind of shit in different nursing classes that I've taken, different education, they're not even called self-improvement. Sometimes they were just mandatory days that you had to make for education. So allow Spirit to guide you to those classes, because it opens the door to so much. And I traveled my path for a long time by myself. And now it's just incredible. Like last year, a couple of years before this 2020, everybody started opening up, and I got to work with people, and I got to create groups and communities, and I had buddies that actually wanted to support me and be there for me. And I got lost behind that, because COVID has made us push back and go back to the basics. And I was scared that if I had to go back to the basics, I would lose all the community and all the people that I have built in my life. And that's just not true. That's not real truth, because the real truth is, if you're doing a session, well, you go back to the basics of the session. And for every session that I've ever done, when they allow me to do the session, I literally start with Reiki, because you're getting in, you're allowing that trust. You have to build that trust before you can allow anybody to heal. Now, if you closed yourself off to just one community, and I'm going back, this feels like I'm going back about 6 years now, that if you close yourself off to one community, wow, you sure miss a lot of people. I've met so many incredible people. And my friend Jen, who she doesn't even realize she did yet, she did a video yesterday, and I only received it today. And again, I've gone through my little shifts, so thank you for not leaving me in my messiness. I'm not exactly sure what my kind of events look like. I know for sound I have to go back to basics because of the numbers, so that's okay. I can handle 2025. That's good. We can go back to basics, and that's all right. I'm excited because there's so many different visions of different events and different connections that have just opened up, because I've released the idea that it has to be 50 people. And I didn't have an idea that it has to be 50 people. I just don't know how to say no to the demand that is there. And I don't want to disappoint anyone, and I don't want to fail anyone. And the miracles that I've seen in people, in clients, in partners, in sisters, in family, in cousins, in everyone in my everyone in my community, everyone in my life, my husband, my house, the miracles that I have witnessed are just amazing. They're just amazing. And when I listened to Jen's video this morning, I was like, wow, I was in that dark bubble, and I was lost, because I haven't had this feeling in a long time. And for all those people that are working with me right now, I've kind of been a negative little nuncy, and I don't know if I was getting involved with the energies. It doesn't matter why. The matter is that shit's done. And when I released the ashes and everything with my cousin the other day, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, lifted off my life. And those have to fall, and sometimes you make decisions that other people take personal, and sometimes you have to listen to your heart, you have to listen to spirit, you have to listen to your soul, because your soul will expand you above all. If I listened to everything everybody said, I never would have went to Sedona. I probably would have left nursing already. Who the hell knows? I would have been, I don't know. Who the hell knows where I would have been? Actually, I probably never would have left Regina had I listened to everyone else's opinions and guidance. I never would have moved to the beach. Again, I might have never met Mike. So honor those little feelings. And you know what? If you do get lost, it's okay to apologize and to take ownership of that. Because I'm not going to lie. I feel like I was in a darker space. And I feel like that's been lifted. And I thank God very much that everything has been validating. And the minute I cut these massive 2 cords that were holding me back, basically it's guilt, obligation, and maybe fear. And it's the inner child fear, all those inner child moments coming back, well, what if they don't love me anymore? What if I don't, blah, blah, blah. Everything that you experienced as a little kid, that if you made your own decisions, sometimes you were punished for that. So with 2021, although, there's still some uncomfortable situations that we might have to move through, it doesn't mean they're wrong. It doesn't mean they have to be heavy. We can go through them with grace and ease. And just because one thing disappears in your life does not mean that there's not going to be something incredibly magical that replaces that. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you change your direction, say, so we have a community, and if that community disperses, just imagine how many people, instead of 5 people working on one group, okay, for example, 5 people working on one group. Could you imagine if those 5 people expanded and did their own thing for 5 groups? Like, the solstice reminded me as we were lighting all the candles how much one light can offer the world, because from one major flame, we lit so many different lights, and then it lit up the room, and it's like it can light up the world. That you just take that little bit of fire inside yourself. You can call that passion, you can call it destiny, purpose, whatever you're inspired to do. And throughout all these practitioners that I've met over the last, oh my goodness, 15 years, feels like a long lifetime, they are all doing something so incredibly on their own and so original and so beautiful, and they're reaching so many different people. And you know what? None of it's wrong. None of it's wrong, because even though I was lost there for a little while, hopefully it still helps someone, because maybe somebody could resonate and, And again, I'm back. And sometimes we get lost because there's so much change. And for me, sometimes all that change is very uncomfortable. So you try to do the best that you can, especially when the change isn't the changes that you want to see. So by embracing all the uncomfortable decisions that you might have to make, you always know what you're supposed to do. It's just sometimes you fight those decisions because you stand in your own way. I know a person that is going to create incredible ripples, and they already are. And they already have a map out of what they want to do. And if you're scared to be independent, don't be. You'll always have that support. That support will always show up however it needs to. And again, going back to Jen's video, I'm so grateful that I took a risk to even go to that freaking Sedona trip. It changed my life. And that Sedona trip, the first one and the second one, they both were magnificent. But the first one changed. As I'm spitting all over my phone. The first one changed everything. Everything. And a gal that I used to hang out with quite a bit, she labeled it as, Stacey, you were like a phoenix and you were rising. She says you rose from your ashes. And you know what? Maybe not all your awakenings are that traumatic. Sometimes mine have been because, well, I don't know, I'm kind of a dramatic kind of girl, I winked just in case you couldn't see me. Oh, somebody in a ditch. How can you be in a ditch on a day like today? I don't know. But, lost my train of thought. to honor all the changes. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Honor all the changes, whether they're dramatic, whether they're subtle, whether. And again, if you can't say anything nice, literally, don't say anything at all. Just get rid of that energy, though. Okay. And I'm not saying even if people are mean to you, you choose to leave that energy. Okay, because sometimes even if you try to alter that energy, they're not going to hear you. You can try and honor your boundaries, honor your space, honor the magnificent people that are in your life. And I don't know, I kind of feel foolish because my life is beautiful. And I mean, I've worked very hard, as my cousin said yesterday. We've worked very hard to get to where we are. And by no means and no stretch of the imagination, there was a lot of healing. And in order to honor who we are, because we are very different in our families, whatever you want to call it. We are those sheep that stuck out like sore thumbs. But for us, they're not sore thumbs, they're lights. And I strongly believe that, because going back to doom and gloom is just not something I'm willing to do. Because there can be miracles, there's beauty. God gives you magic in every moment, even the ones that suck, because the ones that suck are teaching you what you don't want, okay? Sometimes we have to release control. Sometimes shit is out of our control. Sometimes it tries to fear us into putting certain decisions back into our hands. I've tried not to make my own decisions, because God always makes better decisions. If it was up to me, I never would have went for nursing. I said yes finally after a lot of universal God spiritual probing. And I said no for a long time. And once I finally said yes, I enjoy it, because it's honoring certain aspects of my personality. Some of those, people don't appreciate, like, seeing your husband's hairy nostrils. Well, I'm paid to groom people, right? And help them look their best. So you're going to take those personality traits home with you. And again, it's not personal. It's just what life is teaching you, what you're encompassing in your life. Maybe what you're here to bring. And I have a lot of fun with these little old farts. So when my time is done, I'll know. And I have a beautiful dream of a beautiful space that I'm going to be able to share with all of you again one day. And I know it's coming. I can feel it. And whether that's in my present space or what, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go through those doors when those doors come to me. And I'm going to know that those doors are for me when they're right. And they're, And I have to go back to those moments where when people ask you things, where you say, I'll get back to you. Because sometimes you need to take that moment. You need to sit down and say, okay, why am I making this decision? Is it for my benefit? Is it for others' benefit? Is it, where is it coming from? And the love that I enjoy is being of egoless service. Doing things because it makes you feel good, not because you need a paycheck. And you know what? If you're doing it as a paycheck, and that's okay. If I don't mind nursing. Would I do it without a paycheck? Probably not. Not anymore. In the beginning, absolutely. Loved it. But I've also been doing it since 1996 now. And energy is shifting. And I am shifting. And technically, I got 7 years to retirement. And I don't feel like I'm only 7 years to retirement. There's so much life left. So much. Find the miracle in every single moment, because it's there. Whether it's a snowflake and the way it falls, or how the universe does everything in its power to make you look at a situation that you've been ignoring. You are worth so much love. You are worthy. You are beautiful. I can't even put into words how much you're loved. You are so loved. A lot of people are being challenged with a lot of different things. Know that you got this. Okay? Know that you got this. Quitting smoking, quitting some kind of addiction, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do. You know? But it's possible. Just remember that no matter what you're being faced with, remember it's possible to get through it. And your life will always take you through twists and turns. But again, things are going to get so uncomfortable until you make that decision. And if you're upset and angry and pissed off and seeing the worst in every situation, I guarantee if you try and switch your perspective, shit's going to change. If you can find the beauty and magic and honor, honest to God, honor who you are. Oh, my hair looks really high at this angle. If you can honor who you are and listen to those nudges, even though you think they're going to offend people and they're going to make them mad and you're going to make them angry, it doesn't matter. If it's right for you, you need to do it because life is going to spiral until you make that damn decision. And you're here for a reason. Whether it's to be a mom and inspire beautiful children to be something, whatever they want to be, to allow that freedom and safety of space to be who they need to be, to show them that this year, last year, because it's 2021, last year was different, very different. This year, I'm sure, will be different too. But it'll be shiny. Find your shine, find your glow. You're so supported. You're so loved. And you're so worthy of anything that you ever thought was possible. And you know what? You can go through all this shit with grace and ease. Find the grace and ease in the uncomfortable. And it'll change everything. And know that you're beautiful and accept yourself for exactly who you are. Anyways. How does Ho'oponopono go? Thank you. Please forgive. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I forgot Ho'oponopono. Help me. How's it go? I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Namaste. Aho. Blessed be. And Espavo.